Right, so I've switched my audio back to the interface instead of running through NVIDIA Broadcast like it was yesterday. So hopefully we're not going to be getting any of the audio clipping that I had yesterday that I didn't even realize was there until after the fact. And some people told me that it was like, hey, fucking dumbass, your microphone sounds like shit. And I was like, wait, what? So I went back and I checked it out, and I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of shit. So we're back to what we normally run, which is just through the interface and not through broadcast. So hopefully it's not going to be clipping in the same way that it was. Uh, but what's interesting to me about that entire thing is that literally nothing has changed from my usual broadcast settings. Like, that is not the first time I've run NVIDIA Broadcast, and that is almost definitely not going to be the last either. But that is the first time that I've had clipping like that happen while running NVIDIA Broadcast. So hopefully I'll be able to get that working for whenever I need it. But for right now, uh, we have blacklisted people, so that's always fun. Let's see. No radar. Two Barbianos is going to be really annoying to deal with, and a Jaeger. And then we have a blacklisted Yamagiri, a blacklisted submarine, who of course is going to be on this fucking side. So that's going to be really annoying. At least this guy has upgrade modules and a captain. Let's see. And the Yamagiri has no concealment expert. Of fucking course. No wonder he's blacklisted. Anybody else? No, everybody else at least has captains. It looks like, as far as builds though, builds are concerned, the Yamagiri is the only retard present. At least I'm not saying that he's not, that nobody else on my team is not a retard. It's just that, as far, at least all the other guys, even if they end up being dogs, at very least have captains. So uh two Barbianos is about to be fucking miserable to deal with though. Because if you haven't seen one by now or watched any footage of it, this thing can, how do I put it? Can put out such a constant stream of shells that, oh, and it has a fucking funny button as well. That's always fun. But has can put out such a constant stream of shells that there's like literally not a single gap in the air that's just like where a shell is not flying. It's like a literal rainbow. And speaking of Barbianos, there's one right over there. And he is smoked up, and we don't have any radar to deal with him. And I do want to try and save my smoke, if at all possible, so that, because this guy is using his to try and get into the cap. Okay, I think I might have to, because I am detected by a submarine here. But I am gonna hope that my okay, yeah, there's a Columbo over there. I'm just gonna use my smoke to get out of here. And here's the thing with the Barbiano, in case you haven't seen or watched any gameplay of one yet. On a fucking course, that Barbiano sat still in his smoke. And that is on the extreme edge. Yeah, that figures. Mostly non-pens. And there Barbiano is just going to kill himself via GK, so that's funny. And Yamagiri players, man. You have to wonder what kind of process goes through these people's minds when they load in, like they queue up and they're like, yeah, I think I'm ready, that I'm good enough to fight for my team in a super ship. This fucking submarine. I've not actually tested out what the depth charges on this thing are like. Seem to have a relatively normal drop pattern. What are the damage on these? 3,200? It's okay, I guess. And none of those fucking hit. Feels fucking 4501, man. Ooh, what the fuck? Okay. Is this guy going to surface? Is this guy gonna surface to avoid the submarine surveillance that's literally detecting him as we speak? And these are circles right now, so they shouldn't hit me. No, instead, I mean, I guess he can see that if he surfaces, there's gonna be a fucking Georgia bearing down on him. So I guess he can't really fault him too much for not really being keen on surfacing right now. But damn, it does mean that I'm not gonna get a piece of him, which is unfortunate. And these assholes are literally just going to fucking kite there to the goddamn border of the map. So. And yeah, there's the other Barbiano over there. I'm gonna go and grab A. And we're gonna go see if we can deal with this other Barbiano. He's just gonna sit behind the island there. I mean, I could try and farm one of these battleships here. But I also don't have my speed boost, and I kinda want to save my smoke for this enemy Barbiano, because he obviously has the same exact rate of fire and sap that I have, which means that if I pick a fight with him, it's going to be a fair fight, which I don't want. Because what I want to have happen is that I have my smoke available where he doesn't. Though this Barbiano does look like he is perfectly content to sit behind the island. Although that was the Salem radar, I believe, that did not pick him up. So I believe that Barbiano might be like out here now. You know, we're just gonna have to trade with this guy here. Angle in against his sap. And now that the Barbiano is gone, we can just hold down left mouse button on this Columbo. Never mind. Is this Columbo going to shoot, though, is the question. No, it doesn't look like it. He has brains. He knows that he has a smoke fire penalty, which is unfortunate. Yeah, Smolensk is out there. Are those submarine torpedoes going to hit anything? No, they're not. Fucking move faster, please. I believe the funny button makes it so that your shells have more penetration. That is a Smolensk. That is not what we wanted to fucking see. And we don't have a fucking smoke generator ready. We're just gonna hope that our Salem is going to be able to deal with him. Or that he's gonna go behind the island and block his own line of fire. Fucking Smolensks. And of course our fucking Salem immediately, instead of parking behind the island, he's gonna fucking go over there and kill himself. Although Smolensk isn't doing himself any favors either right now. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, there he goes. Okay. And this thing does not turn well, if you haven't noticed. That is a bit of the downside of being so fucking massive that you cram this many guns on a damn thing. Now, I know this hasn't been a super impressive or flashy game, but I think what this really does provide or show is why I don't really like this ship that much. I mean, sure, the rate of fire is kind of nutty. Well, not even kind of, is very nutty. But at the same time, you get outspotted by literally everything. You get outspotted by Marceaus, even. You even get outspotted by Kleber, even though the range, like the difference, is much smaller than Marceau. It's 7 kilometers for Marceau and 7.8 for Kleber, assuming it's not a ledge mod Kleber, in which case it's like literally almost 2 full kilometers. Getting outspotted by 2 kilometers or more by basically any other destroyer really hurts this thing. What I try and do is I try to rotate in between my speed boost and my smoke to try and get my farm on, but at the same time this hole sits so high above the water line that I'm gonna fucking die for this, because that's a fucking Jaeger. Yeah. Fucking course he's gonna get those off. It's a Jaeger. That's what they do. But I try and rotate in between my smoke and my speed boost to farm people, but because the hole sits so fucking high in the water line, and you can see it's not a particularly fast destroyer either, farming in the open is really challenging for this thing to do, unless the enemy team just ignores it, which, to be completely fair, is not unheard of. But I honestly think that this thing is a bit overrated. I mean, sure, it has the funny button, and it has the increased penetration from that funny button up to 34 millimeters. But again, even though it does have that funny button and the increased penetration, as soon as anything angles against you, your effectiveness is severely reduced, as you don't have HE and sap can bounce. So if people nose into you, you technically can farm their superstructure a little bit, but at the very same time, what's going to end up happening is that their superstructure uh, is going to saturate, and then you're going to be back to square one, where you're going to just be basically be hoping that they're going to be stupid enough to turn broadside to you. So, you know, all of these guys have literally been just traveled along the IJ lines this entire game, by the way, which is always fun. This Izumo is angled, which is not really brilliant for me. And there is like a very small window where you can also get these other 4 guns on target as well. Of course, the fucking Izumo is going to shoot at me. It's a low health destroyer, so of course he will. And here we go. Look at the amount of bounces that we're getting. We're gonna try this with the funny button. Yeah, look at that. Even with the funny button, we're getting a lot of bounces. Even, like, to be completely fair, this is a little bit of a skewed result because this Izumo, the Izumo in general, not just that particular one, but Izumo as a ship in general, has a really annoying superstructure. You basically only have this, like, its superstructure is literally just Squidward's house, the funnels, and that's basically it. You don't really have a whole lot to shoot there. So a lot of the shells right here are hitting mostly deck and turret armor, which is contributing to the amount of bounces that we've been getting. I'm gonna try and block line of sight from the Pommern. Line of sight with the Izumo is also blocked. We're just gonna hope this fucking Izumo has a spotter playing up. So we are actually in pretty decent danger of getting blind shot if we sit still doing this. Of course, the Izumo is turning out as well, which doesn't help. We can't even see. We're just trying to rely on the mini-map to aim there, but yeah. Even with the funny button, we're also getting a lot of non-pens as well. Now, the plot armor is about to come off cooldown. And we're still low enough health where a decent sized wave will be all it takes to finish us, but we end up pointing him out anyway, so that is why you go and also, did I remember to hit record? Yes, I did. Okay. I just had to double fucking check that, but fucking I'm gonna do a bit of animal research for one thing. 43%er, that makes sense. Onto the blacklist you go. The fact that this Barbiano, who literally just pressed W and immediately killed himself on purpose, by GK Hydro of all things. Yep, that makes sense. This guy's already blacklisted. The fact that that guy still placed higher than his submarine and his super ship is a fucking yikes moment right there. But as for the Barbiano, I honestly think that this is just like the Sherman in the sense that it's basically limited to only being quote unquote good in randoms, and even then it's only really good against stupid people who show it broadside. If people angle, you could still get a little bit of pen damage with the increased penetration from the funny button, but you do have to remember that these are only 90 millimeter guns. So even with the funny button, you only get 34. I think it was 34 millimeters of penetration, and that's the highest that you can get to. So if something like a Minotaur, even if it's flat broadside to you, because you're locked to sap and you don't have armor piercing, even with the funny button, you're going to have a problem because you just can't fucking kill the thing fast enough. At least as far as citadels. I've not actually tested on whether or not if a broadside Minotaur or broadside Barbiano would win in a gunfight. But the point is that if something has the foresight or the brain power to just angle against you, and then their superstructure gets saturated, your damage fall off is going to absolutely plummet, and it's going to be very noticeable. We didn't really see a whole lot of it in this game, except on the Izuma, which I already said, to be completely fair, Izumos are really annoying to farm in general because of the superstructure thing. You literally only have the funnel and you have Squidward's house, and that's all you get. And then most of the deck is just deck and turret armor. So yeah. Anyway, uh, that is going to be it for right now. I am going to keep playing this ship. I am going to post more on it. But as of right now, I think she is, or she can be fun when she's ignored, which is not really going to happen all that often because this thing, subtlety is not exactly a word in the Italian dictionary. I've seen. I mean, the fucking Regola has a 7.2 kilometer detection. The Barbiano has a 8 kilometer detection. Venezia can get up to like 17 kilometer detection, although you have to kind of purposely do that. But anyway, this thing is, I think, heavily overrated, and it looks stronger than it is right now because it is still relatively new and people haven't yet figured out exactly how to play against it. But I think once people kind of get used to dealing with it, it's gonna be it's gonna fall in line. As far as the gunpowder is concerned, it is still definitely nothing to scoff at, no matter what you are, because you have to respect this kind of rate of fire when sap is involved. And even if it didn't have sap, wasn't locked to just sap, if it had like HE or armor piercing as well, you would have to respect it. But no matter what, you do have to respect the disgusting amount of damage that this thing can put out in a surprising amount of time. Even though we didn't really see a lot of it in this game, but for whatever, we'll talk about it later, another time. But that is going to be it for today, and I'll see you on later.